what are the skill set that you learned and what are the skill set that are required to go in marketing as a product owner or management trainee or something?
ये करेक्ट वे मैं बता रहा हूँ, करेक्ट वे लिंक्डइन नहीं है.
अच्छा, लिंक्डइन है ही नहीं.
इट इज कोल्ड ईमेल्स.
मैं तो फाइनल स्टूडेंट देख रहा हूँ इस पॉडकास्ट को. तो व्हाट शुड बी द प्रॉपर स्किल सेट दैट आई शुड परस्यू इन ऑर्डर टू गेट इनटू दिस रोल? From a non-technical background to now a product owner at Accenture. Before starting, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, I'm Arth. I'm 2017 pass out from ABS IT. I did my MBA and passed out in 2020, and then I joined one of the biggest automobile companies of India, and from there I started my journey as a product owner.
Why, like you come from a civil background, okay?
Yeah.
So most of the student, like me also, coming from a technical background, I focus on technical companies only.
Absolutely.
Why you focus on like different? What was the approach I will like?
See, eventually when I joined civil engineering, so my thought was very different.
Yeah.
But when we had reached to third or fourth year, you realize that everything happening around you is about technology.
Yeah.
Even in civil engineering, most of the people who are working in private firms are working on software. They're working on technology. So you can't separate the technology out of an engineer.
Exactly.
So that's how I always had a kick for newer technologies. I used to explore different platforms like Figma, Photoshop, and get into designing, then coding. I knew coding also because in 11th and 12th I had C++ and Java. So that's how I had an interest in IT also.
So you developed your coding interest in your third year or second year, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
I learned how to read code. I am not very perfect in writing code, but I know how to read.
How to understand it and
How to understand how are loops formed, how are nested loops formed. If you run a query on an API or a Postman, I know how that works.
Have you done any internships in your college or like something?
In BTech, during my BTech, I did my internship in DMRC.
Achha.
Not in related to
DMRC?
DMRC.
In the construction only with
In
the
construction only.
Akshay sir.
Construction only, yeah.
Nice. So what was your basically work at DMRC?
My work was to see if the workers there are performing their task properly or not. If they're tying that particular reinforcement properly or not, and putting
Basically
the cement mixes.
management.
हाँ, absolutely.
Great.
Proper code. उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं था.
उसके बाद बिरला इंस्टीट्यूट से एमबीए करना, व्हाट वाज द डिसीजन? एंड ये कुछ और बात किया या पहले किया?
See, when I graduated in 2017,
Yeah.
I realized a year back that there are only 2-3 options that I have with me. For an average student like me, first thing is either you go for a GATE, you prepare yourself for GATE. GATE से भी दो चीज़ें होती हैं, either you get into government jobs,
Right.
या फिर you go for MTech.
Right.
MTech मुझे पता था कि सिविल इंजीनियरिंग अब मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगी, and I wanted to see, I don't know, I knew कि मेरा कैपेबिलिटी उतनी है कि मैं गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम कर पाऊंगा. ठीक है. The other option I was left with was an MBA or a job directly. Job मुझे पता था कि after my civil engineering I won't be getting a core job here in a private firm because there are not many private firms, civil engineering private firms.
Right.
So that's when I opted that MBA is one such option where my knack for marketing can be explored, plus the horizon widens there. I can get into a very different field from which I graduated from.
But I want to ask, why MBA in marketing, not in other domains?
See, it's always best to be generic.
अच्छा.
This is what I.
What was your opinion? आपका ही opinion?
हाँ, मेरा ओपिनियन मेरा है कि हमेशा जेनरिक होना ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है, बिकॉज once you're in that field, see, if you talk to me that I have done engineering, but right now I'm working in an IT field completely. ठीक है. And whenever people ask me, engineering करी, CS engineering करी होगी, obviously, but नहीं, मैंने civil engineering करी है. But you don't classify engineers as civil, mechanical. An engineer is an engineer for me.
Right.
And because I had expertise or I had the knowledge of IT also, that's why I could get into all of these things.
Right.
So in MBA also I tried to apply the same formula that I don't want to be very domain specific, I want to be generic.
Yeah.
From there I wanted to move on.
Yeah. It was great. So coming to the marketing, internet, viewer communication,
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the thing?
So there, it's a very controversial also.
Oh,
Yes. So there I worked for a political company. Yes, yes. Who won the election in 2019? Yes, I was actively writing campaigns for them, running some ads for
You
them.
won it.
Huh?
You won it. I can say.
Yeah. So they were very different, but
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things. That's where I got the hack of, I got the knack for Photoshop. That's where I learned Figma, how to design posters, how to design UI UX screens. That's where the journey started of my
Great.
digital journey. Yes.
So, you have your internship and job at Maruti.
Yeah.
What was the journey and how did you get there? By Naukri, LinkedIn, or any referral? What was the thing?
See, after I got placed in from campus in my MBA.
MBA. Okay, Berlin students.
And for a year or so, I was in the service marketing division. I was posted in Mumbai, and then a new firm, a new division was coming up called the Digital Enterprise. There, I moved there, and that's where the journey started. Where I got into development of products, platforms, and websites for our customers, for our dealerships, and all. I worked on a variety of platforms. I got to know how our architecture is designed, how our tech stacks form, what are the decisions of choosing a particular database, and many different things.
You gave a very good 5 years in that. So, what are the skill set that you learned, and what are the skill set that are required to go in Maruti as a product owner or management trainee or something? After doing BTech, okay, not
After doing BTech.
BTech, yeah.
See, after doing BTech, the first thing is Maruti also hires civil engineers.
Yeah.
They hire all types of engineers.
Yeah.
Okay. And one particular skill that I would say is, first thing is your CGPA has to be right.
How
It's not
much?
skill actually. It has to be CGPA.
It's a must.
It's a must. It has to be above 6.5.
6.5.
This is what I can recollect.
Okay.
ठीक है. Second thing is about skill. You should know about how things are working around you right now.
In every domain.
In every domain. Say, if you, I'll take an example of IT only. If you look at any platform right now, any streaming platform, any social media platform, you should know, you should have that excitement that you know how a particular thing works. If a streaming platform does, say Jio Hotstar hosts the World Cup,
Yeah.
right? ठीक है. इतने सारे डेटा पैकेज लाइव स्ट्रीम हो रहे हैं. How that is being done? What is the architecture behind it? How? So for, let's say, take an example of Jio Hotstar. They are hosting the World Cup. There are millions of data flowing right into their platform, streaming live cricket matches. You should know that how is it being done. You should understand the architecture behind it, the type of AWS resource, any online resources that is being used, what type of pipeline they have built for streaming that data and getting to the customers, and how is it being done so flawlessly.
So you are saying that see it as a product owner or project manager, like in that point of view, what all the things are.
Yes, absolutely. You should feel like this is my product, and I should know that how is it being done, and how can you probably think of doing such a thing in your particular domain. Maybe you are working in a different organization, or you're working on a project in your college only. Then how can you borrow things from there?
What do you think? What was the gap between your interview and today's? What is the gap? Like कि AI ने कितना डिफरेंस ला दिया है, फिर टेक्नोलॉजी कितनी एडवांस हो गई. एक एज अ स्टूडेंट जो कि मैं एज अ फाइनल स्टूडेंट देख रहा हूँ इस पॉडकास्ट को, तो व्हाट शुड बी द प्रॉपर स्किल सेट दैट आई शुड परस्यू इन ऑर्डर टू गेट इनटू दिस रोल?
So in this particular role, say of a product manager or a product owner, first thing is you should know about the tool that is currently being talked about and being used by organizations. Right. So earlier, if you look at UI UX development, people used to use Figma and Photoshop. It used to take 2 or 3 days to develop one particular screen.
Exactly.
Now there's a new tool called Lovable. Now it's done within an hour. You can easily replicate it, and it's very very easy. यूआई यूएक्स डेवलपमेंट का काम बहुत बढ़ गया है इस वजह से, बिकॉज अर्लियर वो 2-3 दिन में आराम से डिजाइन करता था अपनी बेस पे, बट नाउ पीपल नो कि प्रोडक्ट ओनर्स और प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स को पता है कि ये तो यार 1 घंटे का काम है, बना देंगे ये लोग तो आराम से। तो you should be able to know and you should be able to get that productivity out of people also using all of these tools. You should know where to use which tool. You should know what is ChatGPT, what is Claude. Claude is good for writing, ChatGPT goes for logical reasoning.
Yeah.
ठीक है, perplexity research के लिए use होता है. You should know all of these things. And that's one particular skill that every organization looks at.
As of now, students are more relying on LLMs. So, as of your point of view, as a product owner, senior product owner,
Students are
more relying on LLMs.
LLMs.
Yeah. So, what should be the proper approach for research for a fresher student? Does he or she should rely on LLM or not for the first year of his journey?
Right now, if you look at tools in the market,
Yeah.
LLMs is going away. Right now, everything is on prompt. You
Yeah,
write a prompt,
exactly.
you get the code.
Yeah.
GitHub Copilot है सबके पास, all bigger organization have that. ठीक है, write a prompt, you get the code, you make minor edits on the code, you paste that code in your main repository. This is what is happening. LLMs की understanding होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, because that's when you will be able to code better, you will be able to make the corrections better. ठीक है, उसकी understanding होनी बहुत ज़रूरी है.
How does the thing
that
works?
work?
Exactly.
How does that work completely?
ठीक है. So you were saying off camera कि यार मेरा LinkedIn अकाउंट से भी काफी कुछ नेटवर्किंग बढ़ी है. How does that matter, like networking, like आपको कितना हेल्प करेगी यार?
तो LinkedIn का ना, it's a very long term game वैसे, honestly. It's not a short term game. If you think आज LinkedIn की प्रोफाइल बनाऊंगा, मैं मैसेज करता रहूँगा, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ आ जाएगा, बट ऐसा नहीं होता है. ठीक है, first you have to create a good account. You have to post your thoughts. Our original thoughts will be seen by people. Will be seen. You may not get likes वगैरह, but people see it. ठीक है. Second thing is you have to build on that profile. Say if I'm adding a CEO of a company, पहले लोग क्या करते, सबसे पहले उसको मैसेज कर देते हैं आपकी ओपनिंग है क्या कुछ.
Yeah.
तो क्या मतलब है वो क्यों, why will he
He is not assigned for it. He does not.
हाँ, he doesn't have the time कि वो
Yeah.
आपकी क्वेरी अटेंड करेगा. बट if you look at his post, कोई उसने लेटेस्ट पोस्ट करी हो, and you write a meaningful comment which adds on value, then he will say अच्छा, there's somebody, so he may or may not reply to that comment.
But he may have an eye.
हाँ, he may have an eye for that. चलो किसी ने किया है, अच्छा good, he may like it या कुछ. ठीक है, you do this a couple of time more, like over the 2-3 months, and
Yeah.
then you reach out to him. So it's a very different thing.
Great. And other than that, what should be the proper approach to approaching people on LinkedIn about the job, and what should be the correct way?
ये करेक्ट वे, मैं बता रहा हूँ, करेक्ट वे लिंक्डइन नहीं है.
अच्छा, LinkedIn है ही नहीं.
इट इज कोल्ड ईमेल्स. आई टेल यू हाउ.
How?
व्हाट आई हैव डन इज इन द पास्ट कि मैं क्या करता था, एक सिंपल मेल ड्राफ्ट करता था, and I got a reply from Aman Gupta from Boat also.
Great.
Yes. I'll show it to you after this podcast. मैं इसमें लिखता था कि Hi Aman, you changed my life, ऐसे करके. अब सब्जेक्ट लाइन में अब अमन भी वहाँ बैठ के assuming होता है, अरे यार किसकी लाइफ बदल दी मैंने, मैं अभी क्लिक करके तो देखूं. It's a clickbait kind of thing. ठीक है, उसने क्लिक करके देखा, मैंने नीचे मैंने कहा यार पहले आई यूज्ड नॉट वर्कआउट, और जब से मैंने ये बोट के एयरफोन खरीदे हैं, एंड मतलब मैं वर्कआउट रोज तो वो वर्कआउट जाने लग गया हूँ. एंड योर मार्केटिंग कैंपेन आल्सो ऑन पॉइंट, यू ब्रॉट इन हार्दिक पांड्या वगैरह. दिस इज वन पैरा, वेरी स्मॉल पैरा. सेकेंड थिंग इज आई थिंक इवन आई कैन हेल्प बोट ग्रो मोर. ये काम मैंने किया है, देखो इफ यू कैन, इफ देयर इज एन ओपनिंग. he replied to me that hey Arth, thanks for sharing. This is my he connected with a guy called Shushan, और अभी वो छोड़ गया बोट. Shushan करके था एक बंदा, and he'll take this forward. I got a response. That's one thing that people are not doing.
Yeah.
That's one of the best ways I think what I have seen. There could be many other ways also.
Why from a very big firm of India, I can say, going to Accenture? What was the need? What was the objective behind it?
See, the objective was I was in a product-based company. ठीक है, I wanted to explore what does a client-based service look like. Because here I'm working only for a particular set of users and customers. There I get to work for different different organization, different ethnicity, different regions, and all over the world. That's one thing that I wanted to explore. So that's one of the reasons.
आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव पूरा हो गया एक्सेंचर में?
हाँ?
आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव जो था चेंज करने का, मोर एक्सप्लोरेशन का, हो रहा है?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
What certification do you have right now, and what certification is a fresher point of view aiming for product owner or project manager he should pursue?
Like, honestly, जो certifications हैं, what I believe is certification only enable you. ठीक है? First thing is you should know in IT particular how does agile work, what is the agile philosophy, ठीक है, what are the pillars वगैरह वगैरह, how does scaled agile work, ठीक है. Once you have this, you can go for CSM, CSPO, then scaled agile, then there's DevOps also, DevOps engineer का जो होता है, what is the name? I forgot.
AWS
नहीं, DevOps का भी एक होता है सर्टिफिकेशन
प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट के लिए.
हाँ,
ग्रेट.
प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट नहीं, डेवऑप्स के लिए ही होता है, डेवऑप्स का ही अलग से होता है.
ओके.
एंड द मेनी अदर थिंग्स दैट यू कैन गुड.
मस्ट हैव क्या होंगे एक फ्रेशर के पॉइंट ऑफ
CSM तो होना ही चाहिए. दैट यू कैन फाइंड फ्री ऑन कोर्सेरा वगैरह. You can easily get that.
So
CSM is one thing that CSM and CSPO, yes,
both are free. Okay, and both are valuable as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And what are the projects that a fresher must have in this resume aiming for this role and aiming for this particular company called Accenture or Maruti as well?
So you take any product based or a client based. Abhi the hype is all about AI, so you should have one AI based project. In your portfolio ready with you. It could be related to any chatbot, anything that analyzes data, or anything, but it has to be tech stack. See, tech stack is very different for different organizations.
Yeah.
And it keeps on changing. When we started with पहले ज़माने ऑन प्रेम होता था, then we moved to AWS, अभी GCP में move हो रहे हैं, so it keeps on changing.
Right.
So it depends on what is available in the market.
How do you see this industry evolving as a product owner? कि product owner के industry के अंदर AI कितना impact कर जाएगा and क्या scope है?
See, product owner के अंदर ना, it's going to impact a lot.
Okay.
And it's going to happen instantly. Suddenly कुछ होगा, ठीक है, because the number of AI tools that people are using.
Exactly.
Abhi we don't know the full potential of it also.
Yeah, exactly.
People are still exploring. Once we get to know how to use all of these tools, then the workload is immensely going to decrease from the developers and come more on the product owner than the product manager.
अच्छा.
Yes, absolutely. Because if you can understand code, you can be a product manager, product owner.
You can production level पे हम आ जाते हैं.
अगर आप माइनर चेंजेस भी कर सकते हो कोड में, तो भी आप प्रोडक्ट ओनर कर सकते हो. GitHub सब कुछ करके दे रहा है. You know how to run a query, you know how to run Postman. You can make the changes and you can do that. So immensely it's going to change.
So it's gonna be increase only.
Yeah.
Decline नहीं
And
आएगा.
eventually developers will become product owners and product managers, and product managers will move somewhere, or will be combined.
What excites you the most about this role or like this particular thing?
Excitement तो ये है कि how will I survive? Because every day there's a new tool. Every day मैं सोचता हूँ कि यार मैंने अभी I think 1.5-2 साल पहले पूरा फिग्मा अच्छे से बैठ के सीखा. Now I'm realizing कि एक टूल आ गया, जो प्रॉम्प्ट डालो आप पूरा बना के दे देगा. मैंने अब ये भी सीखना पड़ेगा मुझे. तो this really excites me also, because this brings me into many other this can bring me into many other domains also, because it's very easier to understand things now. Because getting into UI UX has become easy for me.
So if you are starting from like your career, if you are now in 4th year and aiming to be a product owner, project manager, and coming from a non-tech branch only, so how will you take the roadmap? Can you please explain?
Okay. First thing is, for a product owner, you need to understand agile.
Agile.
What is agile? How does it work? How organization working? What is product development? What are the tasks involved? What are the tools used? Tracking कैसे होती है? जीरा कहाँ यूज होता है? यूजर स्टोरेज कैसे होती है? एपिक्स कैसे क्रिएट होती हैं? फीचर्स कैसे डिसाइड होते हैं? थर्ड इज कम्युनिकेशन.
Great.
ठीक है. Third is communication, because it's very important that you tie first and the second things with communication.
Yeah.
ठीक है, and it's very important. because that's how you will grow, that's how you will be able to showcase your work.
Great.
These are the three
You said
things that
communication is the key. So product owner की communication बहुत अच्छी होनी चाहिए to explain everything to the developers and
Yes.
all.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
आपको ये भी रियलाइज होगा कि the people who are using AI, जिनको अच्छे से यूज करना था, उन सबकी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल बहुत अच्छी होंगी, बिकॉज दे नो हाउ टू गिव अ प्रॉम्प्ट, को एक्सप्लेन करना चीज़ें आती है. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट राइट नाउ, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज प्रॉम्प्ट राइट नाउ
Great, great.
in this field.
One advice before ending this session that you want to give to the students that are watching this podcast.
I would just say be excited and explore a lot of things. ठीक है, and I think that's all. Be excited and explore.
Thank you so much for your
Okay.
precious words. Thank you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.